Alright, let's talk Michael Bay, shall we? Hey everyone, welcome to the ranking. Here's my ranking of Michael Bay's movies. Yes, we all know Michael Bay, and despite how you feel about him as a director or as a person, we know he's made some crap movies. Well, a lot of crap movies, but I think everyone likes at least one or two Michael Bay movies, but who cares? I'm going to be talking about my ranking of all his movies that he has directed. Not produced or written, just directed. He has directed 12 movies, so let's get to it. Here's my quick ranking of Michael Bay's movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, coming at number 12 is Transformers: Age of Extinction. Yes, this movie came out in 2014, and oh my god, I really thought Transformers was done after this. Like, come on, Michael Bay, fuck. No, but we gotta have a fifth Transformers now, and a lot of people are probably wondering, oh, why is this number 12? Why is this the worst Michael Bay movie in your opinion? Why is it Revenge of the Fallen? Well, I'll be getting to that real soon, but Age of Extinction just made me just tired of Michael Bay and Transformers. I know people are like, now this made you tired? Come on, what about Revenge of the Fallen? Yes, this movie is just embarrassingly bad. Like, Mark Wahlberg is a great actor, but he is god-awful in this movie. TJ Miller is a funny guy. Like, watch Silicon Valley if you don't believe me. He is so unfunny in this movie. Like, the woman character is very pointless. The villains are very pointless. Again, it's not even about the Transformers. It's about the boring-ass humans. The effects look so bad in this movie. Like, they look god-awful. The Transformers aren't very interesting. Optimus Prime himself, our hero, is a pretty unlikable character. Nothing about this movie is interesting. Kelsey Grammer, what a waste of a Kelsey Grammer. Stanley Tucci is absolutely annoying. This movie is absolute shit. It's a complete 1 out of 10, and I just hate this movie. This movie just, it pissed me off more than any Transformers movie did, and that is completely opinion. Is it the worst? Maybe, maybe not, but it is my least favorite Michael Bay movie. Coming number 11 is Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Yes, this is the one everyone hates. This destroyed Michael Bay and the Transformers movies. Well, they were never good to begin with, but this movie's terrible. It got Transformers with metal testicles. It had two very racist Transformers. Most of the jokes in this movie are incredibly insulting and racist and just very unfunny. Again, Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, is awful. Oh, for some reason, they brought back the soldiers because it's a Michael Bay movie. Just oh yes, army fetish. We get it, Michael Bay. You like army soldiers, but stop making them the lead characters in these goddamn Transformers movies. Make them about the fucking Transformers. The Fallen is in this movie. He's an awful, very generic villain. Megatron is just kind of a bitch in this movie. Starscream is a complete waste. Like, nothing in this movie makes a lick of sense. Nothing about this movie is at all interesting or funny or entertaining. John Turturro, again, is very annoying and throwing out pointless exposition. Everything about this movie just fails across the board. Yes, I think it is pretty debatable, but it is probably the worst Transformers movie. But Age of Extinction just pissed me off more, but this movie sucks. Coming number 10 is Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Yes, another Transformers movie. I'm done with the Transformers for a little bit after this. This movie, again, is terrible. Sam Witwicky is incredibly uninteresting. He has a new female because Megan Fox didn't want to do them because apparently she's even too good for these movies. But you got Rosie Huntington, and she's awful in this movie. You got Leonard Nimoy in this movie, and he's even awful. But at least there's less army fetish, but still, there's army fetish in the movie. Sam's parents are a big character for some reason. You got Patrick Dempsey in the movie, who's god-awful. You kill Starscream in this movie, and you kill him in the most stupidest, most embarrassing way. If you're a Starscream fan, you must have been pissed at the end of this movie. This is just another stupid, horrible Transformers sequel, and it's terrible. Coming number 9 is Pearl Harbor. Yes, Pearl Harbor tried to be Titanic, because Titanic is about two fictional characters during a actual real-life event. Because Titanic, the movie, directed by James Cameron, isn't a true story, because the characters aren't real. Just the historical event, the sinking of the Titanic, that's a real event. That's what Pearl Harbor did. It tried to be a romantic movie centered around a real historical event, Pearl Harbor. So yeah, it tried to do the Titanic. It was Titanic, but during the war, and it fails across the board. At least Titanic had interesting characters, good writing, good costume, good production, a very well directed movie. Pearl Harbor had none of that. The attack on Pearl Harbor itself, that scene, is a very good scene, and it's the only reason why this movie isn't a heinous piece of shit, because the rest of it's terrible. Josh Hartnett, Kate Beckinsale, Cuba Gooding Jr., Ben Affleck, William Lee Scott, Dan Aykroyd, all terrible in this movie, and it's just a very long, boring, 3-hour war drama romance, and it's just so terrible. It's awful. The scene at Pearl Harbor is a great scene, but the rest of it, terrible. Coming number 8 is Armageddon. Yes, I don't want to close my eyes, cause I don't want to fall asleep, cause I still miss you, baby. Yes, I think everyone was humming that song at the end of this movie. God, this movie just plays that song just too many times. This is not a good movie. Again, it's about drillers becoming astronauts to stop a meteor from hitting the Earth. Again, they said in an honest trailer, why didn't they just train astronauts to be drillers? Why did they train drillers to be astronauts? I don't know. It's a terrible movie. Again, a waste of a Ben Affleck, a waste of a Liv Tyler, a waste of a Billy Bob Thornton, and a complete waste of a Bruce Willis. This movie, it's not emotional. It doesn't have the impact like any survival movie or space movie. It's not good. Yeah, Michael Bay tried to be a cool space movie, and he failed horribly at it. Coming number 7 is Pain and Gain. Yes, Pain and Gain. This tries to be a cool action comedy based on a true story, and it's not at all good. Not at all good. I don't care if you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a drug addict in this movie. I don't care. It's not good. It's not good. Mark Wahlberg isn't very good. Anthony Mackie, Rebel Wilson, Ken Jeong. No one's good in this movie. Tony Shalhoub. No one is good or interesting or funny in this movie. This is just a stupid movie. It's not funny. It's not creative. It's not well executed. It's not well directed. Some people like it. Some hardcore weight fanatics. Some people like to hit up the gym. A lot of those kind of people, I guess, liked this movie. I'm not one of those kinds of people, but I really did like this movie. I didn't find it funny, very interesting, or even well acted, and I couldn't stand it. Some people actually thought when this movie came out, this was actually a good Michael Bay movie, and I completely disagreed with them. Number 6 is Transformers. Yes, the first Transformers movie that came out in 2007. So many people were just pumped for this movie. I was one of them, because I grew up with Transformers. I've been watching Transformers. I watched the original 80s cartoon Transformers. I grew up with Beasties, Beast Wars, Transformers Robots in the Sky. I grew up with Transformers. I had the action figures, so I'm like, wow, a live action Transformers movie? That sounds pretty awesome. Some things in this movie are, I guess, okay. Some of the action sequences are actually pretty decent, but all in all, it's still not a good movie. They don't focus on the Transformers, even though the movie is called Transformers. They focus on the army people, the annoying human characters like Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf. They focus on the analyst girl, and Anthony Anderson. It's just a really mess of a movie. It tries to be a political movie on the side too. It just fails across the board. This movie isn't funny. It's not action-packed. It's not entertaining. It's not even a fun popcorn movie. It's just a very disappointing film that almost ruined our childhood. Coming number 5 is Bad Boys 2. Yes, Bad Boys, Bad Boys. What you gonna do when they come for you? Okay, a lot of people love the Bad Boys movies. My brother, as you saw in my top 10 favorite action movies that I did with my brother, he loves Bad Boys 2. It's a hardcore guilty pleasure for him. It's not for me. I think it's kind of a stupid movie. This one is probably my least favorite of the 2 Bad Boys movies because it's so overly long, overly bloated, and just got so much mindless and pointless action sequences. I wasn't invested with the story or the characters. And yeah, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, they look like they're having fun and they have decent chemistry with each other. Just, it's a little too much for me. I didn't get involved with the story. I didn't like how it was executed or directed. The comedy wasn't my kind of comedy. The one scene I do like is when the 2 of them are harassing the daughter, Martin Lawrence's daughter is going on a date, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence start scaring him and stuff. They're pretending they're drunk and stuff. That is a very funny scene. With the exception of that scene, none of the other scenes are very funny. I'm not a big Bad Boys fan. I know there's a big fandom for Bad Boys fans. I'm not a Bad Boys fan, and it's not for me. Some people like it, just it's not for me. Coming number 4 is The Island. Yes, The Island, another movie people are like, oh, this is actually a good Michael Bay movie. Not really. It's got some really sloppy structure. The script is a bit of a mess. There's a lot of Deus Ex Machina in this movie. I do like Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. They make this movie watchable. Like, he's good, she's good. Other than that, I don't like the story. I don't like how it's directed. I think the shaky cam is very annoying. The editing is a little too fast-paced for me, and this is not a movie for me. It's simple as that. The Island, I can see why people are a fan of this movie. Just, again, it's not for me. Coming number 3 is Bad Boys. Yes, the first Bad Boys movie. Everyone's probably like, why do I like the first one better than the second one? Well, for one thing, it's shorter. That's another thing. And again, a couple more scenes, they were just a little more humorous. And this movie actually tried to be more serious than the second one. The second one was more of a straight-up action comedy. This movie actually felt like an action movie. And there's some scenes that had some pretty cool tension. And there's actually some scenes that are very well choreographed and stuff. And Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, again, have chemistry. And they are okay in this movie. Just, again, the Bad Boys movies, they're not my kind of movies. They're just not my kind. They're my kind of a comedy or action or my style and stuff. And, again, it's just typical Michael Bay, pointless explosions, lots of shaky cam, and a lot of scenes demeaning women and stuff. But the Bad Boys doesn't do that. The Bad Boys 1 and 2, they don't demean women like other Michael Bay movies. But, again, just Bad Boys isn't my kind of movies. But this one is the more enjoyable one, even though I'm not a big fan of the franchise. Coming number 2 is 13 Hours. Yes, I did a review of this actually in the beginning of this year, so I'm going to leave a link down below to my review of 13 Hours, and I'll go into depth about it in that review. Just in summary, I think this movie's actually pretty good. I like John Krasinski. I love the action sequences. It actually shows the realism and the brutality of war and stuff. I actually did enjoy this movie. 13 Hours was a pretty good, entertaining movie. I would never ever watch it again. Like, it's just a good one-time watch war movie. But it actually kind of forgot that I was watching a Michael Bay movie because it didn't have all the Bayisms. So yes, there was pointless explosions, but it didn't have like demeaning women or very racist and inappropriate jokes or anything. It didn't have all the Bayisms, but it did have a few, but it was tolerable. This movie actually was a very enjoyable and pretty gritty war movie, and I actually think it was pretty good. So yeah, it's my second favorite Michael Bay movie. And my number 1 favorite Michael Bay movie is The Rock. Everyone's favorite Michael Bay movie, I'm pretty sure. This is actually the Michael Bay movie. I can actually say it's actually a pretty good movie. Like, I like Sean Connery, Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, Nicolas Cage. They're all very good, and I love the premise of this movie. And Michael Bay uses his army fetish very cleverly in this movie, and it just works. It works. There's some pretty funny one-liners like, "Are you let's go home and fuck the prom queen" stuff. I love Sean Connery in this movie, yes. Again, there's a lot of quick cuts and sloppy, choppy editing in this movie, and the shaky cam is a bit annoying. The zoom-ins and zoom-outs in this movie are pretty irritating, but all in all, it's an interesting premise. There's some fun action, some enjoyable, likable characters. I like Nick Cage and Sean Connery teaming up against Ed Harris and his troops and stuff. It's a fun movie. It's nothing great or groundbreaking, but it's definitely a fun Michael Bay movie, and it's definitely my favorite Michael Bay movie. That was my ranking of all of Michael Bay's movies from my least favorite to my favorite. So in the comment section below, please tell me what is your ranking of all of Michael Bay's movies from your least favorite to your favorite. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.